The stars had always seemed peaceful to Admiral Taiho Park. He stood on the bridge of the ESS Horizon, watching the endless black of space through the main window. For 30 years, he had served in Earth's fleet. He had seen wonders that most humans could only dream of. But today, the stars felt different. Today, they felt like a warning. The transmission came at exactly midnight, Earth time. Every screen on every ship flickered. Every communication device on Earth went silent for 3 seconds. Then the message began. The face that appeared was not human. It had gray skin stretched over a skull that seemed too long. Its eyes were black pools without any light in them. When it spoke, the voice was cold like metal scraping against stone. Humans of Earth, I am Supreme Commander Vorath of the Dominion Fleet. The Galactic Council has made its decision. Your species has been judged. You are primitive. You are weak. You are unnecessary. Taiho felt his hands tighten into fists. Around him, his crew stood frozen, watching the alien speak. You have 72 hours to surrender all resources, dismantle your military forces, and accept integration into our labor systems. If you refuse, we will reduce your planet to ash. We will hunt every human across every world you have touched. Your species will become a memory, and even that memory will fade. The alien paused. Something like a smile crossed its face. Do not think of fighting. We have monitored your civilization. You have 40 ships. We bring 12,000. Your weapons are toys to us. Your defenses are nothing. Surrender, and some of you may live as servants. Resist, and you will all die. The transmission ended. For a long moment, nobody on the bridge spoke. Then Lieutenant Hai Yun, the ship's navigator, broke the silence. Admiral, what do we do? Taiho looked at her. She was young, maybe 25 years old. She had joined the fleet because she loved the stars, loved the idea of exploring new worlds. Now she was being told that her species would be destroyed. We wait for orders, Taiho said. His voice was calm, but inside, his heart was racing. And we prepare. On Earth, the Emergency Council met within the hour. President Yuna Choi sat at the head of the table. She was a small woman with gray hair and tired eyes, but those eyes held a fire that had never gone out. She had led humanity through 3 major crises. This would be the 4th. They are not bluffing, General Minho Kang said. He was an old soldier with scars on his face and hands. Our intelligence confirms it. 12,000 ships are gathering at the edge of our system. They have weapons we cannot match. If we fight them directly, we will lose. Then what do you suggest? Asked one of the ministers. Surrender? Become their slaves? No. Minho looked at the president. There is another option. Project Ember. The room went quiet. Most of the people at the table did not know what Project Ember was. Only a few had been trusted with the secret. Yuna closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, her decision was made. Tell me everything. Minho stood and walked to the main screen. 200 years ago, we found something. A ship buried deep beneath the ice of Europa. It was not human. It was not from any species the galaxy knows today. It belonged to a civilization that died long before the Dominion existed. We have spent 2 centuries studying it, learning from it, and building from its knowledge. Images appeared on the screen. Hidden shipyards on moons and asteroids. Factories buried deep underground on planets no one had charted. Ships unlike anything Earth had ever shown the galaxy. The Dominion thinks we have 40 ships, Minho continued. They are wrong. We have 8,000. And our weapons are not toys. They are the weapons of the civilization that defeated the Dominion's ancestors long ago. Yuna looked at the images. 8,000 ships. 8,000 chances. Why did we never use this before? Someone asked. Because we hoped we would never need to, Yuna said quietly. Because we wanted peace. Because we knew that once we showed the galaxy what we could do, everything would change. She stood up. Send the response. I will deliver it myself. 1 hour later, every species in the galaxy received a transmission from Earth. Yuna Choi stood before the camera. Her face was calm. Her voice was steady. To the Dominion and to all who watch. Humanity rejects your terms. We will not surrender. We will not kneel. You believe you know us. You believe we are weak because we chose peace. You are wrong. She paused. Her eyes seemed to look through the screen, directly at Supreme Commander Vorath. We gave you a chance. You could have left us alone. You could have let us live in peace. But you chose war. You chose to threaten our children, our homes, our future. So hear this now and remember it forever. Her voice grew harder. This is Earth's last message to the galaxy. You have made a mistake that you will not survive. You think you are bringing annihilation to us. You are wrong. You just signed your own annihilation. And when we are done, the galaxy will remember what happens when you threaten humanity. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, 1,000 alien species watched in silence. Some laughed. Some shook their heads at human arrogance. The Dominion fleet began to move. But on a frozen moon at the edge of known space, a scientist named Hyunwoo Beek held a black cube in his hands. He looked at the stars and smiled. They have no idea, he whispered. They have no idea what is coming. The invasion had begun, but so had humanity's answer. The sky above Seoul burned orange and red. Colonel Shahi Lim crouched behind a broken wall, watching alien ships descend through the smoke. They came down slowly, like metal monsters lowering themselves to feed. Their weapons had already destroyed half the city. Now they were coming to claim what remained. 40-8 hours. That was all it had taken. 48 hours for Earth's orbital defenses to fall. 48 hours for humanity's home to become a conquered world. Sahi had been a soldier for 15 years. She had trained for war, prepared for the worst. But nothing had prepared her for this. The aliens were everywhere. Their soldiers walked through the streets in heavy armor, rounding up survivors. Their ships blocked out the sun. Their voices boomed from speakers, telling humans to surrender, to obey, to accept their new lives as servants. She would not obey. She would never obey. Far above the planet, Admiral Taiho Park made his last stand. The S horizon was burning. Half his crew was dead. The other half was dying. But his fingers still moved across the controls, sending one final transmission to the hidden colonies. This is Admiral Park. Earth has fallen. I repeat, Earth has fallen. But the mission continues. Activate Protocol 7. Wake the sleeping giant. Do not let our sacrifice be meaningless. He looked at the screen. 12 Dominion ships surrounded him. They could have destroyed him already, but they wanted him to suffer. They wanted him to watch as more of his people died. Taiho smiled. They did not know that every second he survived was another second for the transmission to reach its destination. Admiral, a Dominion voice crackled through the radio. Your resistance is over. Surrender now, and we may let some of your crew live. Taiho leaned forward. I have a better idea. Come and take us. He pressed a button. The Horizon's engines roared to life one final time. The ship shot forward, directly at the largest Dominion vessel. The explosion lit up the sky for 100 miles. 4 Dominion ships died with the Horizon. Admiral Taiho Park became the first human to make the aliens bleed. He would not be the last. On the ground, Sahi gathered survivors. There were 30 of them at first, then 50, then 100. They hid in subway tunnels and ruined buildings. They stole weapons from dead alien soldiers. They learned to fight in shadows, to strike fast and disappear. The aliens did not understand. They had conquered hundreds of worlds, thousands of species. Every other race had given up after their leaders fell. But humans kept fighting. They fought with broken weapons. They fought with rocks and fire. They fought even when there was no hope of winning. Why do they not surrender? Sai heard an alien officer ask one night. Their planet is ours. Their fleet is gone. What do they gain from this? She smiled in the darkness. They would never understand. Humans did not fight because they thought they would win. They fought because giving up was not in their blood. Far from Earth, a small transport ship flew through empty space. Dr. Hyunwoo Beek sat alone in the cargo hold, the black cube resting on his lap. He had not slept in 3 days. He could not sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Earth burning. But he also saw hope. The cube was warm against his hands. Inside it was knowledge that the galaxy had forgotten. Weapons, technology, secrets from a civilization that had ruled the stars long before the Dominion was born. The ancients had defeated the Dominion's ancestors. They had broken their power and scattered them across the galaxy. And then they had disappeared, leaving only this behind. You knew this would happen, Hyunwoo whispered to the cube. You knew that one day, another species would need what you left behind. You chose us. Why? The cube did not answer, but Hyunwoo felt something. A warmth, a sense of purpose. The ancients had not died. They had simply waited for the right moment to return. That moment was now, on Earth. The Dominion commander broadcast a message to the galaxy. His face filled every screen. His voice echoed across 1,000 worlds. Humanity has fallen. Their fleet is destroyed. Their planet is ours. Let this be a lesson to all who would defy the Galactic Council. Resistance is death. Submission is the only path to survival. Across the galaxy, aliens watched and nodded. Another primitive species put in its place. Another warning to those who dreamed of freedom. But on 14 worlds, scattered across the outer reaches of space, humans were watching too. They saw Earth in flames. They saw their brothers and sisters in chains. And they did not despair. They had been waiting for this, preparing for this, hoping it would never come, but ready if it did. On New Bizen, a frozen world that did not exist on any Dominion map, a young commander named Jin Woo Han stood before a window. Outside, ships were powering up. Thousands of them. Ships built in secret, armed with weapons the galaxy had never seen. They think we are broken, he said to his officers. They think this is the end. They are wrong. He turned to face them. His eyes were hard, but his voice was steady. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Earth was our cradle. It was where we learned to walk. But we have grown beyond it. We have spread to places they cannot find, built things they cannot imagine, and prepared for the day when the galaxy would come for us. He raised his fist. Today, we begin the journey home. Today, we show the galaxy what humanity can do. And when we are done, they will never forget the mistake they made when they touched our world. Outside, the first engines began to glow. The sleeping giant was waking. And on Earth, hiding in the ruins of Seoul, Sohee Lim received a message on a hidden radio. Just 5 words, but they changed everything. Hold the line. We are coming. She looked at her soldiers and smiled. Get ready, she said. Our people are coming home. 6 months passed. The galaxy forgot about humanity. The Dominion celebrated their easy victory and moved on to other conquests. Humans were now just another servant race, broken and obedient. That was what they believed. They were wrong. Supreme Commander Vareth sat in his command chamber when the first report came in. A small colony on the edge of Dominion space had gone silent. He did not think much of it. Equipment failed sometimes. Pirates attacked sometimes. It was nothing. Then another colony went silent. And another. And another. What is happening? Voreth demanded. His officers looked at each other. They did not know. The answer came 3 days later, when a single ship appeared at the heart of Dominion space. It was small, built in a style no one recognized. It carried no weapons that the sensors could detect, but it broadcast a message that every being in the Dominion heard. My name is Jin Wuhan. I am the commander of the Free Human Confederacy. You believed you destroyed us. You believed Earth was all we had. You were wrong. Voreth leaned forward, his black eyes narrowing. For 200 years, humanity has been preparing for this day. While you watched our homeworld, we built in the shadows. While you counted our ships, we hid our true strength. While you laughed at our weakness, we studied every secret of your empire. Images appeared on every screen across the Dominion. Star maps showing hundreds of hidden human worlds. Shipyards producing vessels by the thousands. Weapons being tested that tore holes in space itself. You have killed millions of our people. You have burned our cradle. You have enslaved our brothers and sisters. For this, there will be an answer. Not revenge, justice. Jinwoo's face filled the screens. His eyes were calm, but behind them was something that made even Voreth feel cold. We gave you peace, and you brought war. We offered friendship, and you brought chains. Now we will bring something you have never faced before. We will bring humanity. The transmission ended. Across the Dominion, there was silence. Then panic. On New Bizon, Jinwoo walked through the command center of the Confederate fleet. Dr. Hume Beek walked beside him, the black cube never far from his hands. How long until the fleet is ready? Jinwoo asked. 8,000 ships are armed and crewed, Hinwoo replied. Another 2,000 will be ready within the month. But Commander, we should talk about the Ember weapons. Jinwoo stopped walking. What about them? Hyunwoo held up the cube. The ancients left us more than weapons. They left us a warning. They destroyed the ancestors of the Dominion, yes. But in doing so, they damaged the fabric of space itself. Some wounds never healed. Some stars still burn wrong because of what they did. Are you saying we should not use the weapons? I am saying we should be careful. Hyunwoo looked at the cube. The ancients were powerful beyond anything we can imagine. But they still fell. Power without wisdom is destruction. I do not want us to win the war and lose ourselves. Jinwoo nodded slowly. I understand. We will use the weapons only when necessary. We will not become like them. He turned to the main window. Outside, thousands of ships waited in formation. Each one carried humans who had never seen Earth, who had grown up on hidden worlds preparing for this moment. But we will win, Jinwoo said. Whatever it takes. On Earth, the resistance grew stronger every day. Sahi Lim had become a legend among the occupied humans. They called her the Ghost of Soul. She and her fighters struck Dominion bases, freed prisoners, and disappeared before the aliens could respond. The Dominion sent their best hunters after her. None of them returned. One night, Sohi sat in an underground bunker, looking at a map of the city. Her second in command, a young man named Do-Yun Shin, sat beside her. The message from the Confederacy said they are coming, Do-Yun said. But when? Our people are suffering. Every day, more of us die. They will come when they are ready, Sahi replied. The fleet must be strong enough to win. If they come too early and lose, Earth is gone forever. Don shook his head. I know, but it is hard to wait. Sahi put a hand on his shoulder. I know, but we are humans. We are patient. We have waited 200 years for this moment. We can wait a little longer. A signal came through on the radio. Sai picked it up and listened. Her face changed. What is it? Do-hyun asked. Saw-hee looked at him. For the first time in months, she was smiling. They are coming? The fleet has launched. They will arrive at the galactic core in 3 days. Do-hyun stood up. Then we need to be ready. When the fighting starts, we hit them from the ground. Sahi nodded. Tell everyone. Prepare every weapon, every fighter, every person who can hold a gun. The time for waiting is over. Across the galaxy, Dominion commanders received the same news. The human fleet had been spotted. 8,000 ships, moving in perfect formation toward the heart of their empire. Varath called for every ship in the Dominion to gather. 50,000 vessels answered. The largest fleet ever assembled in galactic history. Let them come, Varath said. Let them see what true power looks like. They are insects attacking a giant. We will crush them. But in the shadows of space, Hyungwoo Beak activated the black cube for the first time. Light poured from it, ancient symbols appearing in the air around him. The ancients are with us, he whispered. And now, the galaxy will remember why they were afraid. The final battle was about to begin, and nothing in the universe would ever be the same. The Battle of the Galactic Core would be remembered for 10,000 years. 50,000 Dominion ships hung in space like a wall of metal and death. Their weapons were charged, their shields were raised, and their commanders were certain of victory. Then the humans arrived. 8,000 ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel in perfect formation. They were smaller than the Dominion vessels, sleeker, built for speed rather than raw power. The aliens looked at them and laughed. Is this their great fleet? Varath sneered. We outnumber them 6-1. Destroy them. 10,000 Dominion ships fired at once. Beams of energy crossed the darkness of space. Missiles flew in clouds so thick they blocked out the stars. It was enough firepower to destroy a planet. Not a single shot hit its target. The human ships moved like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. They twisted and turned, dodging through the wall of fire as if they knew where every shot would land. Navigator Hannah Yoon sat at the controls of the flagship Vengeance of Terra, her hands moving faster than thought. They are too slow, she said calmly. Their targeting systems cannot track us. Beginning attack run. Commander Jin Woo-han stood behind her, watching the battle unfold. All ships, activate Ember weapons. Primary targets are their command vessels. Cut off the head, and the body will fall. Across the human fleet, weapon systems came online that had never been used in combat before. They did not fire beams or missiles. They fired something else entirely. The first Ember blast hit a Dominion battleship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then space itself seemed to crack. A line of pure darkness appeared, spreading across the ship like a wound. The vessel did not explode. It simply ceased to exist. 1 second, it was there. The next, it was gone, pulled into a hole in reality that closed as quickly as it had opened. Varath watched in horror as ship after ship vanished. 10, 20, 100. His greatest vessels, his most powerful weapons, disappearing like shadows in sunlight. What is this? He screamed. What are they using? No one could answer. The technology was beyond anything in the Dominion's knowledge. It was beyond anything in the galaxy's knowledge. It was the weapon of the ancients, the power that had ended the last great empire. And now it belonged to humanity. But Jinwoo had made a promise. He would not use the Ember weapons without limit. Each shot drained massive power from the ship that fired it. Each shot left a small scar in the fabric of space. He would not destroy the galaxy to save it. Ember weapons to minimum, he ordered. Target only command vessels. All other ships engage with standard weapons. The battle changed. Human ships stopped dodging and started fighting. Their conventional weapons were still better than anything the Dominion had, but they were not instant death. The fighting became a true battle, ship against ship, fleet against fleet. On Earth, Sci-Fi launched her attack at the same moment. She had gathered 10,000 fighters from across the planet. They struck every Dominion base at once, using weapons smuggled from the hidden colonies. The aliens were not prepared. They had grown used to humans who bowed and obeyed. They did not expect humans who fought with fury and fire. Captain Do-yoon Shin led the assault on the main Dominion command center in what had once been New York. His team fought through corridors filled with alien soldiers, pushing forward meter by meter. "We need to take out their communications," he shouted to his team. "If we can cut them off from the fleet, the ground forces will fall apart." They reached the central tower. Dominion soldiers blocked every entrance. The fighting was brutal, close, and bloody. Humans fell, but they kept coming. They did not stop, they did not retreat, and they did not surrender. Do-hyun made it to the main control room. Inside, a Dominion general sat at a massive console, trying to send messages to the fleet. "It's over," Do-hyun said, raising his weapon. The general looked at him with those empty black eyes. "You are making a mistake, human. Even if you win today, the galaxy will never accept you. You will be hunted forever." Do-hyun shook his head. "You still don't understand. We don't want to be accepted by a galaxy that does what you do. We want to change it." He fired in space. The battle reached its peak. The Dominion had lost 15,000 ships. The humans had lost 2,000. But Varath still had 35,000 vessels, and he was not finished. "All ships, concentrate fire on their flagship," he ordered. "Kill their commander, and the rest will fall." Every remaining Dominion weapon turned toward the vengeance of Terra. Even Hana's skill could not dodge that many shots. The ship shook as hits began to land. Systems failed. Crew members died. "Hull breach on deck 7 through 12, an officer reported. "Shields at 15%. Jinwoo gripped the edge of his console. "Hold together. Just a little longer." Then the ember cube in Hyanwoo's hands began to glow. Not from any button or command, but on its own. Ancient light filled the bridge, and for a moment, everyone saw something impossible. Shapes in the light. Faces. The ancients. Watching from wherever they had gone. And then the light shot outward in all directions. Every Dominion ship within 10,000 kilometers simply stopped. Their engines died. Their weapons went dark. Their power system shut down as if turned off by an invisible hand. Vara stared at his dead console. "What happened? What is this?" The answer came through every speaker on every ship. Not Jinwoo's voice. Something older. Something vast. "Humanity has passed the test. They were given our weapons and chose to use them with wisdom. They were given power and chose to show mercy. They are worthy to inherit what we left behind." The ancient voices faded. The cube went dark. But the battle was over. Jinwoo looked at the frozen Dominion fleet. He could destroy them all now. Every ship, every soldier, every trace of the empire that had burned his people's home. He closed his eyes and made a choice. "All ships, hold fire. Begin accepting surrenders." The war was won. Now the harder work would begin. 1 year after the war ended, the galaxy gathered on a world called Neutral Ground. Representatives from 200 species filled a great hall that had been built for this moment. They came in fear. They came expecting punishment. They had seen what humanity could do, and they believed the same fate awaited them. Commander Jinwoo Han stood at the center of the hall. Behind him stood the leaders of the Free Human Confederacy. Sci-Fi, now a general, wore the scars of Earth's occupation like medals. Dr. Hyunwoo Beek carried the black cube, now silent but still warm with ancient power. Hana-Yun stood tall, her eyes watching the crowd for any sign of threat. And beside them, walking slowly but with her head held high, came President Yuna Choi. She had survived the occupation, hidden by resistance fighters who gave their lives to protect her. She was older now, more tired, but the fire in her eyes had never gone out. The room fell silent as Jinwoo stepped forward. "You are afraid," he said. His voice was calm, but it carried to every corner of the hall. "You should be. You watched as the Dominion attacked our world. Some of you helped them. Some of you did nothing while our people were killed and enslaved. You have every reason to expect that we will do to you what was done to us." He paused. The alien representatives did not move. They barely breathed. "But we are not like you." A wave of whispers passed through the crowd. Jinwoo raised his hand, and the room went quiet again. Humanity did not fight this war for revenge. We fought because we had no choice. We fought to survive. We fought to protect our children and our future. Now that fight is over, and we must decide what comes next. He turned to look at the humans behind him, then back at the gathered species. The Dominion is finished. Their leaders will face justice for what they did. But the rest of you, the species who followed them out of fear, who served them because you had no other choice, we do not blame you. We understand what it means to be powerless against a great evil. Yuna stepped forward. Her voice was softer than Jinwoo's, but no less strong. "I am Yuna Choi. I was the president of Earth when your fleet came to destroy us. I watched my people die. I hid in darkness while my world burned. I have every reason to hate you." She looked around the room, meeting the eyes of species that had helped conquer her home. But hatred is a prison. If I let it consume me, if we let it consume us, then the Dominion has won even in defeat. They wanted to make us like them. They wanted to prove that all species, when given power, become tyrants. She shook her head. "We will prove them wrong. Humanity chooses a different path. We will not enslave. We will not conquer. We will not become the thing we fought against." Jinwoo nodded. "But hear this clearly. We will never be victims again. Any species that threatens humanity, any species that threatens innocent worlds, will face the full power of what we have built. We do not seek war, but we will never run from it." He stepped back, and Hyunwoo stepped forward. The black cube glowed softly in his hands. "The ancients left us a message," he said. "When the war ended, when the cube fell silent, one final record remained inside. I will share it with you now." Light poured from the cube, forming shapes in the air. Words in a language older than any living species. But somehow, everyone understood. We were the first to rule the stars. We were powerful beyond measure. We defeated our enemies and believed we had won forever. We were wrong. Power without wisdom destroys itself. We fell because we forgot that strength is not the only thing that matters. The shapes changed, showing a galaxy in flames. We left behind our knowledge for those who would come after. Not as a gift, but as a test. Only those who could find it, understand it, and choose to use it wisely would be worthy to carry it forward. We watched for millions of years. Many species found fragments of what we left. All of them used it for conquest. All of them fell. The light focused on a single world, a blue and green planet, Earth. Then came humanity. They found our greatest secrets and hid them, not because they were weak, but because they hoped for peace. They built in secret, prepared for war, but prayed it would never come. When war came, they fought with terrible power but chose mercy when they could have chosen destruction. The light faded, leaving only a single glowing symbol hanging in the air. Humanity has passed the test. They are worthy to inherit the stars. But the test never truly ends. Every day, every choice, every moment of power is another chance to fail. Remember this, Humans, remember what it costs to reach this day. And never forget who you chose to be. The cube went dark. Silence filled the hall. Then, slowly, the representatives of 100 species rose to their feet. They bowed, not in fear, but in respect. Years passed. The galaxy changed. The old order was gone, replaced by something new. Humanity did not rule as emperors. They served as guardians, as teachers, as examples of what a species could become. General Sahi Lim trained a new peacekeeping force, made up of beings from every corner of the galaxy. She taught them to fight, but more importantly, she taught them why to fight. Not for power, not for glory, for protection, for justice, for hope. Ambassador Hana Yoon traveled to worlds that had never known freedom. She helped them rebuild, helped them find their own strength. She showed them that the galaxy was no longer a place ruled by fear. Dr. Hyun-woo Beek continued to study the cube. He found more messages, more knowledge, more secrets of the ancients. But he was careful. He shared what would help and protected what could harm. Wisdom, he learned, was knowing the difference. And President Yoona Choi returned to Earth. She walked through the rebuilt streets of Seoul, saw children playing in parks where soldiers had once marched, heard laughter where there had been only screams. She was old now. Her work was nearly done. But before she left, she made one final speech. "We have won," she said. "But victory is not an ending. It is a beginning. Every generation must choose what kind of people they will be. We chose to be better than our enemies. We chose mercy over revenge, hope over hatred, life over death. Remember this choice. Teach it to your children. And never, ever forget what we could have become if we had chosen differently." Somewhere, on a distant world, an alien child asked their parent why the galaxy was at peace. Why there were no more great wars, no more conquests, no more empires rising and falling. The parent looked at the stars and thought of the blue planet called Earth. They thought of the humans who had been mocked and attacked and nearly destroyed. They thought of the message that had echoed across the galaxy. "Because the humans are watching," the parent said, "and they remember everything." The child looked up at the stars, wondering which one was Earth. "Are they scary?" the child asked. The parent smiled. "No, they are kind. But they are also strong." And they taught the galaxy that kindness does not mean weakness. That is why we have peace. The stars shone down, endless and eternal. And somewhere among them, humanity watched over the galaxy. They had saved, not as rulers, as guardians, as family. And they would never forget who they had chosen to be.